Good morning, class. How's everyone doing today? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Are you guys ready for reading time? Yeah, today we're going to be reading Liliana's Grandmothers. What do you think this book is about, based on the title and the cover?
Her grandmothers.
Her grandmothers? Who do you think her is? Who's this?
Liliana.
Yeah, I bet that's Liliana. And who do you think these two ladies are?
Her grandmothers.
Yeah, and we know that from the
Title.
Exactly. Good job. Now it says right here, Leela Torres. What do you think Leela Torres did?
She wrote it, so she's the author.
The author. Good job, Sarah. You're doing a great job. Sarah, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you have any grandmothers?
I have a step-grandmother.
You do. So you can relate to this text. And so I need you to put on your learning cap. Good job. Because today we're going to be learning about making connections. There are 3 types of connections we can make. Text to self, text to text, and text to world. Text to self is basically when you say, I know something that the book says. I can relate to that. An example would be how we read Albert Einstein's autobiography last week. And we all like math, just like Albert Einstein. A text-to-text example would be, think back to when we read Little House on the Prairie last month, a long time ago. Remember that? They have sisters, they have brothers and sisters in that, don't they?
Yeah.
And let's think, what other book did we read where they have brothers and sisters?
The Boxcar Children.
Good job! You're doing great at making connections. So text-to-text is when you relate 2 texts to each other. And our last one, text to world. Remember Little House on the Prairie? They settled the West, and pioneers also settled the West in the 1700s, remember? We learned about that in our history portion of the day. So now, we're going to be working on making connections to Liliana's Grandmothers today by Leela Torres. So you get 5 Post-it notes, and I want you, while I'm reading, I want you to make 2 connections to yourself, 2 connections to the world, and 1 connection to the text. And we'll be sharing them as we go on, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Liliana's Grandmothers. Where should I start reading?
Where the words are.
Where the words are? Do I start reading at these words?
No,
No.
that's not interesting.
Not interesting. Well, let's see. Let's think about it. This is all about who wrote the book and who published it. So I should actually read the story, right?
Yeah.
That may have been a little too much for 2nd grade. All right, so I start where the words are?
Yeah.
Do I start at these words?
No.
What should I start here?
Here and there.
And read, which way should I read?
To the right.
There you go. Okay, so let's start. Liliana's grandmothers are Mima and Mama Gabina. Mima lives on the same street as Liliana in a town where summer days are long and winter brings lots of snow. Sometimes Liliana visits Mima for the afternoon. Other times, her parents let her spend the night. Who do you think that is?
Mima.
I think that's Mima too. Let's keep reading. Find out. Mama Gabina lives in another country, so Liliana has to travel by plane to see her. Liliana's parents send her to visit for a week or 2 at a time. Mama Gabina speaks only Spanish, and in the city where she lives, the weather is warm all year round. Has anyone else been on a plane in this class? You have, Sarah?
Yeah.
What kind of connection would that be? A text to world, a text to text, or a text to self?
Text itself.
Good job. You can write that down for one of your text to self connections. All right, let's keep going. When Liliana stays overnight at Mima's, they do yoga exercises early in the morning. Mima has a cat named Susie who watches them. Susie sticks out her tongue, even when she is sleeping. Mama Gabina feeds and sings to her birds first thing in the morning. Liliana's favorite is a parrot named Roberto, who always says, Buenos dias, Kier Kakoa? Good morning. Do you want cocoa? Mima makes quilts to raise funds for her church. Liliana helps sew the squares and triangles of fabric together. Mama Gabina has a garden where she grows flowers and vegetables. She says that talking to the plants makes them grow healthy and strong. Liliana greets each plant. Hola, preciosa. Que bien luces hoy? Hi, precious. You look great today. Can we think of another book where they had a garden? Can anyone think? Think back to that book that we read a month ago, where they settled, and then they moved to a new house. Yes, Sarah? What do you think? What do you think?
In a little house in the prairie, they have to grow their food.
Exactly. That's another text-to-text reference or connection. Let's keep going. We're making good connections today. Mima serves a small lunch. A peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a glass of apple juice is enough. But dinner is a feast. Mama Gabina prepares a big lunch. Liliana's favorite is kidney beans and tomato sauce, avocado salad, and rice. Dinner is often small. A tamale, a slice of papaya, and a glass of milk. When Liliana stops by to see Mima after school, Mima reads stories to her. Mima's voice is so soft and soothing that Liliana has a hard time staying awake. Mama Gabina takes a siesta in the afternoon. Liliana likes to nap too, but it's often hard to sleep because Mama Gabina snores so loud. Class, do we know what siesta means? Have we heard that word before? No, we haven't. How can we figure out what siesta means? What should we do?
Look at the picture.
Exactly, so let's look at the picture. What are they doing here? Yes, they're sleeping. Now it says here in the sentence afterward that Liliana likes to nap too. So what do we think siesta means based off the fact that Liliana likes to nap too and the pictures of them sleeping? What do you think siesta means?
Nap.
Nap, very good. Sometimes Liliana is mischievous and has fun startling her grandmothers. She knows that Mima is afraid of mice and that Mama Gabina is afraid of frogs. Mima likes to do crossword puzzles. Liliana and Mima spend time together trying to find the right words. Mama Gabina dances the cumbia. Liliana dreams of someday being as good a dancer as she is. Look at them dance together. After dinner, Mima sits by the window and tells Liliana stories about her childhood. Liliana especially enjoys the one about Marcel, the grumpy French lady who cooked for Mima's grandparents. Mama Gabina also tells stories at the end of the day. Liliana likes to hear Mama Gabina talk about how she met her husband, Liliana's grandfather, at the festival of the festival of San Pascual. Many nights after her parents have tucked her into bed, Liliana closes her eyes and remembers the laughter and joy of Mima and Mama Gabina. Whether down in the street or in another country, Liliana's grandmothers are never far away in her thoughts. Do I keep reading? No, why don't I keep reading?
There's no more words.
There are no more words. So our book is all done. All right, so we talked about some of the connections we were making in our book, and I hope you guys wrote down more connections because we're now going to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to share at least 3 connections, okay? So go ahead and turn and talk with your neighbor. You can also draw a picture for your connections if you need to. All right, go ahead. Turn into talking. Wow, good job. All right, who wants to share some of their connections? Who has a connection for text to self? Sarah, do you have a connection?
Liliana had 2 grandmas, and I have a grandma.
You do? All right, go ahead and come put that up right here. And does anyone have a text-to-text example? Sarah?
We read a book, Tale of Abuelitas Told, and that relates to Liliana's grandma because Liliana's grandma tells stories.
Exactly. Go ahead and put that on text-to-text. And who has a text-to-world? Let's see. Sarah,
I do.
Good job. You are making connections today.
Liliana's grandma speaks Spanish, and Mexico is a Spanish-speaking country.
That's a good text-to-world connection. Go ahead and put that up there. All right. So we have made our connections now. You guys did a great job. So now our reading circle time is over. So go ahead and go pick out your independent books, and we're going to independently read for about 20 minutes.